Hey guys, Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. We want to thank you so much for all the support you've given us here on the network. And if you want to see what we're up to outside of the station, please follow us all over social media. I'm on Twitter at Mike M Media and on Instagram at Mike Mercado Media. You can follow the good brother Alex Mercado on Twitter at Mercado21Alex and on Instagram at Mercado2121. The lovely Nicole Mancha is on all social media platforms at Typing When Tipsy. You can follow the network on Twitter at Mercado Airwaves, our pop culture show, The Good Brothers, on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod, our true crime shows on Instagram at Murder, Mysteries, and more, and of course, like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all our videos on YouTube.com/Mike Mercado2333 or by searching Mercado Airwaves Network. We play video games on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network, and of course, you can support our network by finding a tier just for you, whether you want early access, you want to be part of polls, you want to win contest prizes, by visiting us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. And we really appreciate it wherever you get your favorite podcast to like, rate, review, and share us. And please spread the word. For the good brother, Alex Mercado, for the lovely Nicole Mancha, I'm Mike Mercado. We wish you a happy, healthy holiday season and an awesome new year.
And here we go.
Get ready, get set for the best movie and pop culture talk in the universe. It's The Good Brothers on Mercado Airwaves with your hosts, Alex Mercado and Mike Mercado.
Welcome back to the best damn pop culture podcast in the Midwest, in Chicago, in the universe, in the multiverse. You are here on The Good Brothers here on Mercado Airwaves. I'm your host, Mike Mercado, and I am flying the Millennium Falcon myself as the Good Brother is enjoying a little bit of vacation time. He has deserved it and earned it. So you are with Uncle Mike in this episode of The Good Brothers. We talk about a brand new trailer, some sad news in the NBA, and so much more, including some movie news that we have to get to. All that and much more on this episode of The Good Brothers here on Mercado Airwaves. But first, let's all go to the movies. And at number one in the box office, once again, is Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. At number 2, Jumanji, The Next Level. At 3, Frozen 2. At 4, opening up its first time this weekend, was Little Women. At 5 was Spies in Disguise. At 6 was Knives Out, keep racking in that dough. At 7, Uncut Gems. At 8 was Cats. At 9, Bombshell. And at number 10, Richard Jewell. Want to also give out some shout out to these 3 movies that made $1 million. At 11 was Ford v Ferrari. At 8 was Queen and Slim. And at 13, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. So obviously there are some movies there that will be in Oscar contention coming up in just a few weeks when we find out the nominations. And of course, right here on The Good Brothers, where we will break down each nomination when they come down the pipeline. And of course, our predictions. We have done pretty well the last 2 years. I won the first year of our betting when it comes to our predictions. The Good Brother Alex won last Oscar season. So we'll see how we do coming up in the 2019-2020 Oscar season. But speaking of movies, we had, of course, The Grudge coming out this weekend. We also had 1917 and Just Mercy made limited premieres on Christmas. Both obviously do that so they could get their Oscar love for 2020's Oscar ceremony for the 2019 season. But really, we want to get into The Grudge coming out this weekend. And honestly, there's no buzz about it. And it hasn't gotten any love when it comes to the critics on Rotten Tomatoes. And it's interesting to see where we're at right now when it comes to the horror genre. Because if you really think about it, we have things like The Conjuring, and we have Annabelle, and we have all these different types of movies. It Chapter 2 was a big success, and It Chapter 1, that entire series. Just the way horror is going. It's not what it was back in the early 2000s when they were bringing the Japanese horror, and you know, the United States was in this weird low when it came to the genre. But it's very healthy right now. And if you go on Rotten Tomatoes, so spoiler if you don't like to know the ratings or want to be tainted one way or the other, it's got a 17% from critics and 20% from the audience. And that is so disappointing. It's so disappointing. I love John Cho. He's amazing. Who would have thought he would have been so damn creative after Harold and Kumar? I remember being a teenager, in middle school watching that movie. Who would have thought that he would be such a dynamic actor? And it just sucks that this role was in the ship or the cradle that was going to take him to maybe being another genre love. But, very disappointing that it's not getting any love, and it doesn't seem like it's going to make a lot of money, and it's definitely going to be the first flop of 2020. But that's what you can spend your money on this weekend is The Grudge. Earlier on this week, we saw a very fun trailer starring the one and only Emily Blunt, and it is directed by John Krasinski himself. We're talking about A Quiet Place 2, the full-length trailer, and holy cow, this was an amazing trailer. If you guys have not gotten the chance to check it out, just go on YouTube. It's official trailer number 1, I believe, and it is a hell of a trailer. Quiet Place, the first one, is such a good movie. It's the way it was directed, the way it was acted, the atmosphere, just everything about it is so amazing. And what it looks like they're doing in part 2, the way this apocalyptic event happens, and we get to see the backstory, and it being spliced into modern times where Emily Blunt and the kids are living in. And we see Cillian Murphy in this. He looks amazing. He's probably going to turn out to be crazy. I'm super excited for A Quiet Place 2. That low-key might be my most anticipated movie of this coming up year. It looks fantastic. And it looks like it does what any great movie does when it comes to being a sequel. It stays true to the original, but it also ups the ante. And it takes itself to another level. At least that's what it looks like we're getting from the preview. So I'm very excited to see what we get from A Quiet Place 2. Let us know your thoughts, though. What did you think about the trailer for A Quiet Place 2? And before we close up our movie news section of this week's Good Brothers, we have to talk a little bit about the Collider news that dropped here on the internet. So for any of you who aren't big media nerds like the Good Brother myself are, including myself especially when it comes to the media, really interested in sports media, wrestling media, and of course movie and TV media, pop culture media, Collider really was a house of amazing talent of pundits. And it all started with John Campea and a few other great people, Dennis Zane and Ruth, and there's just a bunch of amazing people over times, the Schmoes, John Schnepp. You guys have heard us talk about them throughout the years. And the news dropped about them closing down the original programming, especially in our case, what we really want to focus on is Movie Talk. From AMC Movie Talk to Collider Movie Talk and everything in between, all the great things they've done from Jedi Council to Heroes to Collider Live and all the great hosts and talents, that's not all going away. And they're not all going away, essentially. And the reason I want to bring it up is for anybody who does anything type of creative. This is why, to me, it's so important to own your own work, to be your own brand. I think that's why you see it in all types of medias and mediums, that people want to own their name, want to own what they're producing and what kind of content they're creating to give out to their fans and to the world. And I think it's interesting that we see this now for the movie community to see how people have responded. But the best way to respond is to support your favorite content creators, from the biggest to the smallest. It takes a lot of work to do a lot of these things. From making a multi-million-dollar movie to a little podcast. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a part of yourself. Financially, it takes a little bit of yourself to a lot of yourself. And we're seeing it when a move like this, that in a Thanos snap, it can all be taken away. So I bring it up because you're seeing it in all different types of spots too. If you're a big sports fan, we saw with Sports Illustrated. But then we see what happens with The Athletic when you own your own work and you're through paywalls. People come with you if you have work ethic, if you're consistent. So I bring it up in the middle of movie news because there's sometimes news behind the scenes of movie news and how you get this information. And how sometimes places like a BuzzFeed have created great minds when it comes to talent and great content creators. It also has created the world that we live in now, where individualism and smaller content creators are under those thumbs and desperately need your help. Content creators desperately need fandom to not give them handouts, but to be engaging and help and be part of the growth. So just as much as we celebrate the movies and TV shows, don't forget the people that introduce you to these things and create content for you to enjoy yourself. I'm not doing anything special here. Let's say, because we're talking about all this, let's bring it home. I'm not doing anything special, anything crazy that you couldn't do. But not everybody can do it. People are busy. People have lives. And I think when we create content from you in this network, from video games to true crime to sports to pop culture, just all these conversations and videos, it's to distract you. It's to give you a little bit of time to unwind or to just be that white noise to help you get through a day when you're at work or at the gym, whatever the case may be. But being part of that community and helping and being together, that's so important. I think when you hear news like that, it's just something to keep in mind. So I thought you guys might find it a little interesting to dig down deep and be a little bit of a nerd like us here on The Good Brothers. But please, if you're a fan of anybody that was on Collider Movie Talk, Collider Live, and all those amazing shows like Jedi Council and Heroes, support them, like them, follow them on Instagram and Twitter and all of social media. And thank you guys for all the fans that have been here on Mercado Airwaves, on The Good Brothers, and all the shows we have here on the network. We love you. Not much TV news I want to get into this week. We'll have a more deep dive on some TV news we need to get into for 2020 with The Good Brother. But one thing I did want to bring up to all you lovely people, and it has to do more with sports, is the passing of former NBA Commissioner David Stern, who died at the age of 77. The big thing is how important David Stern really was for the growth of the NBA. And for anybody under the age of 30, like somebody my age and younger, we don't understand the world that was pre-Michael Jordan, pre-Magic Johnson, pre-Larry Bird, and pre-David Stern. The NBA Finals, one of the biggest spectacles throughout the summer, was on tape delay. You didn't get to watch it live. In the 80s, the NBA had this reputation, racist or not racist, of being a heavily drug use league. They didn't make a lot of money like they do now. But we had that crazy phenomena that was Bird versus Johnson. Bird versus Magic was something else. And then Michael came along. And David Stern made them rock stars, gave them platforms. They became their own shoes, their own brands. And now the league is global. And that's thanks to David Stern. It's crazy sometimes to think how an individual can make such an impact. And whether or not you thought he was prickly, you liked all his decisions, things that he said, the effect he had is undeniable. Also, right place at the right time is one thing, but taking advantage of opportunity is another. And he had the forethought, the foresight to put it all together. So I just wanted to give a little love to David Stern, who passed away, and one of my favorite sports, my favorite league in the NBA. It just would not be the same without David Stern, one of the greatest commissioners, if not the greatest commissioner in all of sports history. Not much in the wrestling world, especially since everybody's coming back from the holidays, but next week we will have a full deep dive talk of NXT, Raw, SmackDown, and AEW Dynamite. But don't worry, wrestling fans, we still have a little bit of wrestling chowder for you guys, because this very podcast will be up right around the time that New Japan begins Wrestle Kingdom 14. Night 1 has some amazing cards. For the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, it is Okada versus Ibushi. We have for the Intercontinental Championship, Jay White and Naito. We have Ospreay versus Takahashi, Lance Archer versus Jon Moxley, Gorillas of Destiny versus Finjuice. I mean, this is a stacked show. Night 1 is going to be amazing. Night 2, whatever, but we might get into that. At least there's a lot of what ifs, if this person wins, if this person wins, so on and so forth. But New Japan looks to have a very fun card. I'll break that down next week on The Good Brothers. But thank you so much for joining us on this episode of The Good Brothers, a truncated way to start our 2020. But I wanted to get on the mic and talk a little bit with you. Don't forget, tomorrow, if you're listening to this right now, tomorrow being Saturday, kicks off the NFL playoffs. We'll have our prediction show ready for you guys to start before kickoff. But until then, make sure you're following us all over the universe, all over social media. Thank you all so much for joining us on this episode of The Good Brothers. For the good brother himself, Alex Mercado, I'm Mike Mercado. We'll see you next time here on the Mercado Airwaves Network.
Thanks for joining us here on The Good Brothers, here on Mercado Airwaves.
Hey guys, Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. We want to thank you so much for all the support you've given us here on the network. And if you want to see what we're up to outside of the station, please follow us all over social media. I'm on Twitter at Mike M Media and on Instagram at Mike Mercado Media. You can follow the good brother Alex Mercado on Twitter at Mercado21Alex and on Instagram at Mercado2121. The lovely Nicole Mancha's on all social media platforms at Typing When Tipsy. You can follow the network on Twitter at Mercado Airwaves, our pop culture show, The Good Brothers, on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod, our true crime shows on Instagram at Murder, Mysteries, and More, and of course, like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all our videos on YouTube.com/Mike Mercado 2333 or by searching Mercado Airwaves Network. We play video games on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network, and of course, you can support our network by finding a tier just for you, whether you want early access, you want to be part of polls, you want to win contest prizes, by visiting us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. And we really appreciate it wherever you get your favorite podcast to like, rate, review, and share us, and please spread the word. For the good brother, Alex Mercado, for the lovely Nicole Mancha, I'm Mike Mercado. We wish you a happy, healthy holiday season and an awesome new year. Hey guys, Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. We want to thank you so much for all the support you've given us here on the network. And if you want to see what we're up to outside of the station, please follow us all over social media. I'm on Twitter at Mike M Media and on Instagram at Mike Mercado Media. You can follow the good brother Alex Mercado on Twitter at Mercado21Alex and on Instagram at Mercado2121. The lovely Nicole Mancha's on all social media platforms at Typing When Tipsy. You can follow the network on Twitter at Mercado Airwaves, our pop culture show, The Good Brothers, on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod, our true crime shows on Instagram at Murder, Mysteries, and More, and of course, like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all our videos on YouTube.com/Mike Mercado 2333 or by searching Mercado Airwaves Network. We play video games on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network, and of course, you can support our network by finding a tier just for you, whether you want early access, you want to be part of polls, you want to win contest prizes, by visiting us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. And we really appreciate it wherever you get your favorite podcast to like, rate, review, and share us, and please spread the word. For the good brother Alex Mercado, for the lovely Nicole Mancha, I'm Mike Mercado. We wish you a happy, healthy holiday season and an awesome new year.